Well, well, well. Where were we last time when we were fighting the waters of pain? So, well, judging from what I see here, the cistern is still alive. We got a decent mining spot, farming spot that we can easily expand on. Judging from what I see here, I want to do that immediately. Just for the sake of preparations, that is. Let's leave one spot open. You'll see why later. Okay, so the city's core is nestled to that aquiferous stuff here that's not really of any help for anybody here. So we got a nice home for a lot of different people here. We do have a bit of a claustrophobic environment here, nevertheless. So... Oh, that doesn't work. Alright. I didn't see the chat, so forgive me for all that stuff there. Okay. Now then. Good. Dwarf Fortress is really weird when it comes down to screen capturing. I don't know why, but the game is really iffy like that. Okay, where were we? So, I was pondering the situation here, but I think that just will work out for now. Hello there. Welcome, Draydon. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been using Twitch, that's right. But I figured it's time to come back. So we got a couple of temples here. Okay. We got that impromptu hospital here. And we got tetrahedrite to work with. So I remember vaguely, no, I don't have any problems here. Okay. So tetrahedrite is so far as we have seen the most available material. It's not as if the mountain here would be too eager to share its wealth with us easily. So I have to triple check if there was any easier available source of metal for us here. So that was magma stuff. Well, we could go this way. Well, I'm happy you're around. Welcome. So the next attempt will be to see if we get another shot at entering the lower layers here. Alright. And I also want to start forging out some weaponry here. Even if it's only copper. Even if that's just not what I'd personally prefer to have. Oh yeah, that guy went berserk. Oh yeah, the last time I wasn't too sure how it came together that that guy went berserk. By now I have understood that it was most likely that I didn't have the right type of cloth. Because when dwarves get moody, they will desire a certain piece of cloth. When they have a artifact mode, it's either a plant cloth, a spider silk cloth, or a animal-based cloth like alpaca wool or whatnot. So, an elven caravan has arrived. Now that's not too much of good news. Who likes to hear about elves have arrived? So I want to check out if there's anything down here in the limestone layer that is worth smeltering more than than the tetrahedrite. Basically, my last shot for some proper metal. I mean, we could check out the environs here. I mean, there's mudstone around me, obviously. I'm blatantly gonna ignore those elves now. Just pretend as if they were not around. I've got better things to do than sharing my gemstones with elves. Well, we're going to dig into that claystone here, because I really want to know whether or not we have anything to expect from this biome here, you know. A sudden finding of anything would be now very, very helpful. I mean, as far as I know my stone layers, we don't have any chance whatsoever to find any coal here anymore, because we've already passed those layers. But, well, probably we can find some iron or something like that. That would be really, really nice. Although I don't think we'll be that lucky. Alright. But at least we got limestone. I mean, flux-stone for the non-existent iron that we don't have. So this is definitely also not looking too promising, because when I look around in the caverns, I don't see anywhere any nodes of metal around me. So I'm not too optimistic here. Definitely not too optimistic. The claystone here, the mudstone didn't even yield anything here. Not even gemstone. That's highly disappointing. Well, well. Oh, look, it's creeping eyes. Damn, I didn't know these yet. Ugh. Stuff. So I'm not convinced by this safety mechanism here. Not at all, now that I look more closely at it. But, well, we'll see if this is where our fortress will get into real trouble. But no, I don't think I need to, I don't need to slave away here to find even more. We're going to forge ourselves a first nice kit of copper geared, first squad of copper geared people. That's what I want to say. So we're going to dig out more of that tetrahedrite. It's what we got to use, and it's going to work on out. So, well, I find it rather amusing that now that the elves are here, I'm going to start chopping whatever trees are left here in this biome. Do you see me, guys? I'm doing this. I really hope that we're not going to get into any trouble with those giant tortoises in the vicinity, though. They are really what's making me nervous. But, our High Master Woodcutter makes short work of these. And, well, it doesn't seem like it's bothering these dudes too much. Good. Alright, so, there's only 2 more trees left in this biome. Well, there's, it's probably gonna be an issue at some point as well, but not for today. Let's grab these as well. Let's grab these as well. So, let's bring up an animal training zone and see if we have any animals that can be trained. So, we got a couple of dogs that we can transform into war dogs, but that was all the training that was possible. Whatever, it ain't bad. Seal the fortress. Is that as good as it sounds? Yes, it is. Great. So, alright, they're not happy seeing us, but they're obviously not taking any aggressive measure against us, as it seems. Alright. so... The elves were just staying long enough to get a good glimpse about what we are doing with them trees. All right, the tortoises seem to be going in and outside of their shells out of whatever reason. I don't think that this is anything that deserves any bigger mentions or whatever. Okay. Good. They were been doing that even before I started chopping trees, so I'm not even sure if this has anything to do with me. Okay, so we require charcoal. Oh, whoopsie, that was not the button I wanted to go for. We're going to go for 40 dosages of that. Yeah, it's a lot, but I've decided that we really need to crank out some gear now. So let's see, how are we set up metal-wise? Ah, a whopping amount of 3 copper bars. Sweet. That's gonna take a while. So, I mean, the good news is we got so much tetrahedrite, I probably should queue up that differently, that we can safely make us some metal. The problem there is still that we will have to pay the price for that. And as you saw there, this was all the trees that the biome had in store for us for now. We could go for subterranean trees, but, you know, subterranean stuff is always a little bit more risky, especially when we don't have any military around. I'm not too fond of that version of the plan. Not at all. And more jurists have arrived. No, great. They all think it's a great and safe place to be at here at Fortress Reward. Damn. But obviously, well, I hope we have enough bedrooms for now. Really don't want to expand on the city one more time. I mean, this is all... We have a clear-cut edge, you know. Our limitations to our architecture. And the water is making it very, very clear where we can and where we can't live at. I love this map, honestly. It's really, really exciting. So we got 60 people hanging around here now. That's amazing. That means we got some sweet workforce to get projects done with. That's really, really good. So let's check on out what do we have so far on our work order list. So we're smelting that stuff. Yeah, those are all one-shots. Here's the repeating stuff. So I am not making any... Oh yeah, here, chalk blocks. Wow, how decadent. So we got only chalk blocks, and we're making them until we have... That's a wrong rule to begin with. So chalk blocks until we have 200. Thank you. Do we have any other blocks in the making? It doesn't seem so. Alright, so probably want to ponder about what kind of stone I want to use for the rest of the fortress here. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we need to work through there. But up until then, it's gonna be okay. I mean, this fortress is amazing in terms of how early all the stuff happens, you know. Here we're just 2 levels below our fortress, and there's already the first layer of the cavern happening. It's insane, you know. It's truly outrageous. So let's check on out what we got downstairs here. I mean, obviously, it's not aquiferous. So let's check out what we can do with it. Oh, whoopsie. Tabbing out to say habit of mine to check them the chat, but Dwarf Fortress is weird when it's recording. You cannot game capture it properly with Streamlabs OBS. Probably should change the software for streaming, but easier said than done when you grow accustomed to a system. Good-o. So, let's check out. So our copper stockpiles are filling up nicely. That's great. But I do fear that my... yeah, the charcoal... damn. Alright. I mean, the worst part about it is that up here, well, when you look at the geography, there is just not much room for trees to grow on, you know? Oh, back there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. Oh, yeah. Okay. I've missed a few. Great. But all in all, there's just not that much more material to work with until the next regrowth has happened. I really don't know what the parameters for the game are to decide whether or not something is regrowing or not. So our poor weaver has died of thirst. So we can now deconstruct the wall I've erected around the workshop. Okay, do I have a burial spot already? Oh well. Ish. Burial? Burial. Alright. There we go. Hello, delicious kelp. Yeah, what does mean permanent? Well, I do plan to stream very regularly here on Twitch again, and not so much on YouTube anymore. And oh boy, now it had to happen, huh? The Grey Langur. Okay. Okay, it's just a monkey. Oh, awesome. I already was afraid that now the tortoises would fight. Yeah, so to put it into short, I am streaming more now here on Twitch again because there are so many people following me on Twitch, and would be a waste to not to. And all the stuff streamed here will then land on its own playlist on YouTube, as usual. Because this way, you know, a lot of people watch Twitch much more regularly, so I figured it's best of two worlds. Ah, Bella, hi there. Alright. Happy to catch you, man. Yeah, I'll be streaming here more often. That's the gist of it. Oh, we have to hurry up that corpse so they can't carry it away. Luckily, we don't have a resurrecting biome here, so it's not the worst kind of evil biome we're in. It's actually a very, very tame and docile evil biome, but you know, I don't really want to believe it. Okay? It's like when when there's a wolf there sitting right between the sheep and playing nice, and you're like, I know you're a wolf. I know you want to eat sheep, so stop playing nicely. That's the same with this biome here. It's evil, and it seems as if bitter sludge rain is the only freakish thing happening here, but how should I know? Good. So the Turquoise Coven, they want a bigger temple. Those people here, yeah. They already have all the bling here in the fortress, and they're still not happy. Well, we're going to put some artifact in there. So we're going to put this amazingly valuable mitten in there. Yeah, that's gonna be good. So I sadly lost some of that save file, so if you were watching the last video on demand, it's a whole repetition of that because the game crashed, sadly. But I think we're going to steer into new territories quite soon. It's been now the entire weekend, and I still remember what has happened. But whatever, we're gonna get there. I want a one of these thingies here, and yeah, you guys will get your high tempo. I mean, it's crazy to have high tempo demand in the second year with merely 60 people, but obviously this religion is so chic, en vogue, whatever. They just want to have it. It's the latest thing to be part of the Turquoise Coven, I guess. Alrighty, so now we can put that artifact mitten on a display. these useless artifacts. So, let's bring up a stockpile specifically for chalk, because we're processing that stuff here in a larger scale, and therefore I figured it's always a nice thing to have a bit more of that. Hey, AFK, welcome. So happy to see you. Yeah, it's my pleasure. Just like me, just like for you. Well, Bella is back. No need to miss anybody here. Alright, so let's see what has happened to our tetrahedrite project. So we smeltered down 14 chunks. That has resulted in 59 copper bars. That's not enough. I want to staff out a entire squad, 10 people, and I will require more copper for that, so we got to smelt down 10 pieces more. That hurts. That hurts so badly. Because, out of wood now. There's no more wood on that map. And it's gonna take all this year until my buddies from the mountain home come and bring me new fuel, so... Well, it's gonna be a hard time, I guess. Well, AFK is hanging out here since a long time. He's a very regular visitor of the stream here. So we're going to prepare ourselves a new farming tile. I've just decided. Use that aquifer, you know. So ramping upstairs, that's why I left that pillar in the middle, results in something like that. You have a ramp and you have an open tile there. I love this technique. I only recently discovered that you can so easily dig upstairs with that. And now we put a staircase in there so we can work up there. I'm basically preparing another flood irrigation here like that, but it's a very chill way to do this. So now we're waiting for that staircase. It's one I'm pretty proud of to have discovered, or happy to have discovered, I should rather say. And now we're digging this out and basically doing the same thing as we did over there. So we're putting a lid on it. I hope I have hatches. Oh yeah, I do. Great. And lever right next to it. And you know, I know one thing for sure. This one farm tile won't get us through the entirety of the run. It just doesn't. I know it already. This is nice and dandy. This will be good until we hit 100 to 150 people. But once we get strongly over 150, I don't last with one of these. Or I could fertilize, but fertilizer does require wood, and we already know how the things with wood are here, huh? Good-o. So, the burial has been done. Do we have a steady supply of coffins? No, we don't. Let's change that. It's never a good thing to have to wait for the coffins, I think. So, I'm only gonna hold a relatively low amount of these, but it's always a nice thing to have them before you need them. Ah yeah, let's make a smooth room, why not? Good, 60 people and counting. This place is getting cramped now. Okay, we've are we already able to bring up a new smithy? No. It's really a pity. Do I have any iron to alleviate that? No, I don't. Ah, too bad. This would speed up things tremendously, but whatever, we'll have to work through. Okay, so the barracks. I'm going to go for a close to surface barracks first, because I expect most of the threats to show up for this fortress from close to surface. So we're going to excavate a nice area here. Also, an extra layer around it will be excavated because I want to have proper walls going on here, you know? Since my soldiers will spend most of their time inside that barracks, I want to make it as neat as possible in there so they can get some sweet happiness thoughts from good stuff around them. It's at least a thought. we're going to build this with chalk, just like a majority of this fortress has been made with. Well, the thing is, for me, it's exactly the opposite. I'm enjoying Dwarf Fortress more than I'm enjoying RimWorld, but I do get the point that you're making there. The complexity level of this game is something else, and the worst part about it is the documentation is also not really there. There's just almost no documentation in the game about all the stuff that's happening in there. You have to properly nerd yourself into it to actually get access to all these things. And I do understand why people see Dwarf Fortress as something that's just too arcane for them. And I do see the point where it's more enjoyable to watch it than actually play it yourself. But, that's okay. People like me, we also need something to live off of. So I'm going to play Dwarf Fortress all day for you, and you guys just play RimWorld on by yourself. Jokes aside, I do get the sentiment, totally. So, we got claystone, we got limestone, we got mudstone, and yeah, that's all the stone sorts we got. I'm just considering what kind of flooring I'm going to put inside there, and how to organize my masons. Because, I do like to play around with color palettes and all, and I think we're going to use mudstone here a little bit more. As much as I'd like to use limestone, right now I want to roll with the mudstone. We're going to use limestone later. Probably for statues. Come over here. So, storage piles for specific stone types help me a lot to make my workshops a little bit more efficient. So them dudes don't have to go down inside the dungeons to find the stone block they require currently. Civ80, hi there. Well, I think it's lovely that there are games, specific type of games that are so much fun to watch, albeit being difficult to play, because that like I said, people like me, we need something to play, and it's a nice way of coming together. And niche games are always a nice thing to play. For me personally, I'm wildly disappointed of nowadays AAA title quality. That's just indie game dev seems to churn out much more creative game designs nowadays than the bigger studios. I mean, considering that this thing here has been made by only 2 people and a community behind it, this is just beating me, You're a niche person, you need weird games. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I mean, nothing beats some good old brain-dead mainstream gaming. Something easy to just relax with. I don't want to talk bad about that. So the humans have arrived. Oh gosh. So let's see what we can trade with them. And I absolutely need a underground pasture. I don't know why I haven't set that up yet. Ah well. Too many things at once. And admittedly, I'm also constantly learning. There is an entire fortress that I'm playing off camera right now. And let's say I've sunk an hour or 2 into it, and I've learned a few things. Alright, we seem to have not much wealth there, but let's see how far that'll get us. So, oh gosh, bloody hell, we got a mayor. I know that I point that out like it is a disease, because, politicians and nobles, they are just like that. Dwarf Fortress is no exception there. Now we have somebody who always wants us to produce some stuff because he says so. And he also, or she also, wants to have a more dandy place to live at. than everybody else. Yeah, privileges. Anyways, let's do that trade before we get on over to that mayor problem. Yeah, Bella, that's such a wise thing to say. I mean, there are games that I'm personally not getting into, and I'm also loving to watch them. But usually, I'm that kind of person. I need to play it myself. If something is fascinating me, I need to play it myself. So we got a lot of unpolished gemstones. Crap. So that's not gonna be any trade in here. Oh, they got so much stuff I want to have. Okay, whatever. Okay, so never mind, guys. We're going to come next year when we have those gemstones actually polished. So it seems like I had no work order for that. Not a big surprise. So we're going to cut gems, but make sure that there's always a supply of rough gems for moody dwarves. Okay, so in the meantime, our supply of water here is filling. Let's X that staircase away, because we really don't need it anymore here. Yeah, that's so true, Bella. That's so true. It's like, X4 is a wonderful example for that. I always mean to finally get into X4, but I just suffer from a major brain fart whenever I want to sink my teeth into it, and then I turn it away again. It's one of those games that I really would like to play and enjoy, because I know it will be fun once I get past that initial slump, but it didn't happen so far. I know that feeling, so it's really not just you guys. I think that's happening to everybody from time to time. Okay, so preparing a few more apartments just in case that we run out of some. I mean, right now, yeah, just like I was afraid. Every single room is taken, so we are actually wise to expand on that. Also, we have to take care of the needs of our mayor. So, let's see. The mayor is one apartment suite that will mostly stay the same over the course of the game, unlike the Baron's apartments that will grow proportionally over time. Oh, mechanics. Now that's a nice one. That's something I totally agree with, Civ80. Totally. I totally know what you mean. Some games, when I have learned them, I'm done with them. And I'm like, yeah, that was fun. Honest, good fun, but now there's nothing more to learn. I go for something else. So it seems like we are wired quite comparable. You seem to enjoy learning as much as I do, at least. Good. So let's get back to the metal project. How did things go down here? We have 100 copper bars and 20 charcoal. Charcoal is not sufficient right now. Ugh, this ain't looking better here either, huh? Damn. We have 104 logs available. This is actually way more than I thought it would be. Is it really that much? Nah. Hard to believe, but whatever. If that's the case, we can easily assign them to make 50 pieces of charcoal more, because that won't be hurting our stockpiles tremendously. It's just gonna be 50%. Okay, there's still nothing going on here. Just no chance. And I think it's time for me to strike a compromise. That means I'm going to do only half the job here, okay? As much as I dislike it, but I think that's the best way to do it. So, we're gonna go for a sword squad. So we're forging swords, we're forging helmets, we're not assembling adamantine ballista arrows. Nice try though. So, copper helm, copper breastplate, copper mail shirt, copper gauntlet, copper greaves, copper high boot. I always like to imagine it like going from head to toe. So, and copper shields. So copper might be not the best material to work with, and well, we got 20, 40, 60, 80 jobs. So it is, with the current amount of charcoal, nigh impossible to do this. So we're going to cut down, and oh, I hate to do this, but we're only going to make 6 of each. So we're cutting down on 32 jobs here in total, and that should do the trick. So we will only have 6 soldiers to begin with, but until I have more fuel, this just doesn't go better. I don't have any option. Okay, so let's get back to these people here. So where's that mitten again? Where? Ah, yeah, here. Kural Ushrir, the artifact mitten. Lo and behold. So it sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous, but it is worth a lot of money, so it'll do the trick for now. We're going to install the an artifact chain here as well. I don't like to do this because artifact chains have so many usages that are better than that. But since I have to get this done somehow, that's okay. Yeah, I can show you how to equip boots on soldiers. It's a uniform thing. I actually can explain it, and I will explain it as soon as we got everything prepared. So we got artifact mechanisms. This is actually really, really good. So, could now actually... Let me think. So we got now not enough value in here. Oh boy. Alright, whatever. Then we're going to put the artifact mechanism in here, because that's the fun thing. You can put an artifact mechanism into a lever, and whenever somebody's operating with that lever, he's going to have very, very happy thoughts, because it's made of very, very exquisite mechanisms. Dwarves are a funky bunch. But overall, artifact mechanisms are among the most useful artifacts that your dwarves can create. Practically yes. I'm trying to stream in the afternoon, but I'm also going to try to stream in the evening from my point of perspective. That would be from here in 6 to 8 hours. But both are just as often as I can. I really need to rewrite my schedule and see how well it works for me. But I can only say the old schedule didn't work out for me in the long run. That's just, yeah, well. It's a permanent optimization process, I think. Okay, so what are we going to do here is a few toys. You know, I made the experience that having a few toys in your fortress goes a long way in providing happiness for the children. And let's see, are we... Yeah, we already disabled children tours as well. Brilliant. Okay, so here we got now a nice amount of armor being made. And I do remember now that I wanted to carve some blocks, but something distracted me, didn't it? There's always some distraction. Good. Well, let's try and finish those walls at least. And let's see. I didn't put up a work order for those, didn't I? Sad. Ah, well. I have decided that I want to use mudstone. I don't know what has stopped me from assigning that. Whatever. So, we have mudstone here. Boom. And you are going to make me a steady supply of 200 of these. Thank you, boys. Well, I made the experience that wherever the toys are, the children are, and therefore, yeah, you can totally lure them somewhere where they learn something. Guild halls are a good spot, that's true. I'm not playing too much around guild halls yet. But I mean, this game has a bajillion different optimizations points, you know? Okay, so let's slap down a few beds and let's get the furniture for the mayor going. We are going to require a bit of extras, so let's make some Billon furniture for the mayor. Billon armor stand and Billon weapon stand. Just very, very important things. And then we got to think about where the hell are we going to make the mayor's suite. So we have here already established a couple of temples. It seems as if the Aquiferous Rock is noping us out on different venues, but I think this is already a pretty promising venue, isn't it? So we're going to make the apartment block like this. The idea of that. Let's make it a tad bit larger, because, you know, there's nothing else fitting in there anyways. And more people. Jeez. Folks. You're making this really, really hard for me. Damn. Okay. So we got a Crafts Dwarf Guild that has been established, so I'm pretty sure that we're going to see some outrageous demands here upcoming very soon, but whatever might be the case, we do need to carve out new apartments. So let's see, where is the last, here is one dining hall, and do we already have a tavern? Yes. But that tavern isn't even fully configured. I derped. Yeah, well, I don't have boxes? Alright, let's fix that. So, what kind of stone do we take there? Well, I'll stick with the mudstone here. And I want a total amount of 10 of these. And while we're at it, let's just make sure that we always have the cabinets as well. So, turns out we probably should chuck out some mudstone rather sooner than later, huh? So, yeah. One thing at a time, my fellow jurists. We got to recognize a high priest here. The sacred gem. Wonderful. A great liar. That's perfect. That's what you need for being a religious leader. Good. So, Crafts Dwarf Hall. Do we have something like that already? I don't think so, but I want to browse nevertheless. So we have one dining hall here. We have the tavern here. We have bedrooms here, so no, we don't have any guild hall here whatsoever. Okay. So, judging from what I see, what I've saw so far. Okay. Don't mind me and my grammar my adventures today. Okay, so the mayor has imposed a ban on exports. What kind of exports? Large gems. Luckily not cut gems, but this is something I don't like when my mayors do something like that. Totally don't like that. I guess that laughing face refers to my statement about politicians. Or I don't know. Okay, so, yeah, the new apartments are not getting together. And, thanks for the follow, Barreras. Happy to have you. Good. So we're at least slowly making progress in these avenues. Food situation is coming together brilliantly as well. Altogether, Kashudabal is it's actually quite a successful fortress. I don't dare to say it, but we're doing quite fine so far. So let's see, how far did my work orders for the weapons been processed? Yeah, well. Do we have all the materials? Copper, yes. Charcoal, running low. But there's a steady resupply ordered. Okay, so quite confident that things might be getting together here in time. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Thanks for watching this. This is nothing is worse than streaming without an audience. It's a performer's nightmare to have nobody listening to their performance. Okay, so we're going to slap down more floors into these rather slim apartments. But honestly, since we don't have too much room here, due to the many aquifer problems that this biome has, I think it's totally fine. So let's give me one thing here, though. I want to check out if we can dig into that direction. How much room is there? I mean, we can continue a layout like that for several floors, so things aren't as problematic as they might seem right now. But I do already plan for 200 people, so, you know, plans have to be properly made. So let's give the mayor a nice different looking floor, a hearty and wholesome gray mudstone. You know, only the best for the best. And then we are going to put some furniture in there and make sure the mayor is finally happy with her apartment. But there's something I need to extract out of these walls. There's gemstone. I'm not gonna pass on that. Yes, I have set the resources to rare. Very rare, even. It's one step before the most rare configurations, because I personally love the challenge of having to struggle and look for resources like that. It makes everything for me personally more vibrant, but I think with sandbox games we all can agree that we're configuring the worlds just like we feel or want to play at the current moment. And yeah, scarcity is for me always a game mechanic that makes things more appealing to me. Good, so we got that area here now carved out. Let's put some doors inside there and make sure the mayor has some place to live at. So mayor requires a bed. Basically, they require a complete set of rooms all for them alone. So I personally like to make the first room the office, the second room the dining room, and the third one the bedroom, because I personally think that's, you know, you wouldn't want anybody accidentally stumbling into your bedroom. Or so that's the basics now. Every mayor or noble also wants weapon racks and armor stands. A mayor luckily only wants one of these. So we're going to provide, and then we're going to require a chest. And alright, they're just not being ready yet. Okay. Sadly, this doesn't influence the prices in any way, no. That would be quite dope. Nah, it just makes it harder to acquire resources. That's basically only making things worse for you. But you know, I would never gear out a military otherwise with copper gear. So, just for one example. And I enjoy it to have to work around with situations like these where you're making decisions that you usually wouldn't make, because when you have everything available, it does boil down to a very specific set of decisions, which seems to be optimal in the most cases. And, you know, I don't like that. To have a optimal plan for every gameplay. Anywho, Crafts Dwarf Guild. That's the next point where I want to be at. So we're going to put up more of that wonderful and magnificent mudstone flooring, if I have enough stones left, that is. 59. We're lucky. We got enough. Brilliant. Okay, so let's see. Do we have finally that chest? Yes, we do. And let's check. So here we can check out. The mayor is unhappy because he has only one chest, and he requires two chests and one cabinet. All right. So we can provide the cabinet. The chest will take a moment, but that ain't much of a big deal. So Crafts Dwarf Guild, let's establish that. It ain't the most important of guild halls, and I personally must say I tend to neglect this whole topic a little bit, because you can actually train your workers quite effectively with guild halls, because people are sharing their knowledge with one another here, and that's a pretty easy way to make people more talented. Good. So that won't make this a guild hall, I guess. Let's see if we can engrave the wall, if we're engraving the walls, if that does something. I also try myself to engrave, not everywhere anymore, because, you know, it just looks boring if there's dwarf faces everywhere. So I figured that it'd be more fun to make it a little bit different. Okay, so now I again have dismantled all the stone that I wanted to have, or used up all the stone that I wanted to use for barracks. I keep doing that to myself, but anyway, we're going to bring up the underground pasture here now next. I like the idea of that. So, well, I can't help myself. I need to do this. So I need to put proper walls around this. Don't ask me why. I just have this tick to have things properly furnished here. So yeah, of course, now we don't have enough mudstone anymore because I decided to use it all for the mayor and the guild hall. But actually, probably that's been the proper choice here right now. So, I hope that the next chest has been made now, finally. Yeah, there we go. And that should finally... Yeah, okay, the quality of these rooms is not pleasing the mayor. Alright, so we're going to engrave the walls. I'm totally down for engraved walls, because I think that's pretty... that doesn't feel like it's power playing. But engraving every single piece of floor, like here, is not only visually not that beautiful, it's also like, yeah, cramming in as much value as possible, as easy as possible. But I do like the fact that these methods are available if you want to use them. It's the huge variety of methods that Dwarf Fortress offers to its players is something that pleases me deeply. There's so many different solutions to the same problem. It's wonderful, you know. So I do notice something else very pleasant here. It seems as if the mountain has receded, being wet at this point. And so that means we're probably going to eliminate one of these bedrooms, or two or three, to carve out a proper crossroads here, so we can have a bit of a better traffic management. But if this works out as it looks as it does, this is going to be a big relief for the fortress, because we can double layer our apartments there. And then things will be actually not as problematic anymore as I thought they'd be. Not the least, actually. So let's put up some more of these, because we have quite the request for beds. We're at 70 people and counting. I'm pretty sure that in the course of the next few years, we're just going to get more and more people joining us here. And it looks like we got off lucky. So the aquiferous rock seems to be on the leftish side here. So that means we should be able to build our fortress or citizens area here in that corner without any bigger issues. I'm relieved because the actual usable area of this fortress is as small as it was ever for any fortress that I've made. The more the merrier. Yeah, I'm totally with you. You know, I want to cut so many darned stones. They have to be cut somehow, somewhere, from somebody or by somebody. And yeah, let's see. I mean, as soon as the saving is done, I'm going to go upstairs and show you what I'm talking about. I mean, I do plan to do some nice castle structure here in the middle of this thing, you know. I totally want to do this. I don't know how it works, but I'd also love to have a tunnel down into the actual bottom of the things through the lake, of course. But I don't know. That's probably going to be a bit of a hard thing to do. But you know, one dwarf must dream big. Otherwise, you'll be just another boring fortress. Yeah, that being said, let's get the underground pasture going. Alright, I'm leaving the last piece of wall here alive because otherwise my door would deconstruct. And I don't like that. Ah, we have. I don't know what these walls will be made out of, but they'll surely not be made out of the stuff that I want them to be made out of, so there we go. Good. There we go. So now we can't dig out the last spot here because the door is now held by that other piece of wall. Good. So this is going to be our pasture for all the animals that will come. And this is a safe place for them to breed and all. While we're... I don't trust the surface on a longer period of time, you know. The hardest part for our fortress or for our castle dreams will be to get actually all the blocks that I require. I mean, we do have access to... do we have access to sand? Doesn't seem like we have access to sand. So it's even worse. So, yeah, stone will be the biggest issue. I already foresee that. So... But I saw this map, and after playing here for a short period of time, I totally wanted to build a castle on this sea, you know? So, it's our liaison again. That's good. I think I have ordered fuel from them. Alright. So, let's check it out. So... The elves have left their feather tree egg yolk here again. Disgusting freaks. That's something they just like to leave there. It's a traditional leftover from the elven punks. And yeah, I hope that some of the gemstones from the last time have been cut by now. Hello, Lemuel. Alrighty, so we're going to go for requests. Let's see. Do you guys actually sell unrefined coal or anything? That's always the most desirable thing. Oh god, I hate the fact that this thing has no search function, you know? So we could order hematite and limonite. So we could order actually iron if we really want to. They don't seem to have any lignite and stuff. Neither lignite nor bituminous coal are showing up. So, well, for starters, I'm not going to go for that. I want charcoal and I want coke. And that's that. They do have coke though. How can you have coke if you have no lignite? Did I miss something? Oh, I wish this had a search function. This is so bothersome. They got bismuth. Ooh. Wait a sec. We should totally order that. If I remember correctly, copper and bismuth, or was it that? Was it copper and bismuth, or was it tin and bismuth? Ah, we're going to try that. Probably. Nah, not yet. Not that important. I could rather go for metal directly. So they neither have lignite nor bituminous coal, but they can sell me coke. How? Nobody knows. I don't ask any further questions. You guys bring me the stuff that I request. Thank you. Glorious Planted Tree, hi there. And to answer your question, it is a lot like RimWorld, minus the sci-fi. This game is high fantasy. So in terms of genres, these games are very, very different from each other. But if I would try to compare it, Dwarf Fortress is more like a city builder with lots of elements that RimWorld uses as well, because you gotta know that RimWorld is technically a derivative of Dwarf Fortress, or at least heavily inspired by Dwarf Fortress. So all in all, here you have a standard population of 200 people as a maximum. In RimWorld you have only 13. You cannot command your dwarves directly like you can command people directly in RimWorld. So there are differences, but there are also similarities, like base building and processing things and all. But altogether, what really sets RimWorld apart from Dwarf Fortress is that procedural generation in Dwarf Fortress, let's just say it goes places. You get a world that's entirely procedurally generated. And when I say entirely, I mean entirely. Every single village, every single individual, every single item that has been made by somebody, somewhere, somehow, has its history. And basically, while RimWorld's events are often just random gibberish that are not related to each other, every event in Dwarf Fortress's worlds is conclusive on the predecessing events. And that's something I find it so amazing. Because basically, when you see somebody hanging around somewhere, you can go and research what he has done in the world so far. You can start making art, you can start checking out the Legends mode. Let's offer them a gift, and you can check on out what has happened there. Everything has a deep history. Sure, that history is also procedurally generated, and ultimately it is not the same as something a human being has invented and thought through, but it is really, really damn detailed, and the best procedural generated world that I've ever played in my life. So, I hope that helps you to get a idea of the... Alright, let's put up a pasture zone here. But to put a oh god, kittens. To put an end to my statement here, Dwarf Fortress is way worse optimized than RimWorld. User interface is a mess, and a lot of things in this game are a bloody mess and need to be cleared out, because the game has been made by literally just 2 people. There's time for some delicious kitten stew. Oh yeah, man. You name it. I just want to avoid the kitten explosion that comes when you leave them unchecked. And I also need some light, my men. I'll be right back. Okay. This will also put up some tiny extra resources of meat into our base. Not much, but a little bit. Let's see if the mudstone has been prepared finally for the barracks there. And the answer is no. Hey, Paper Boy. Welcome. So happy to see you. It's my pleasure to see that you folks are joining back again. I'm sorry for being absent from Twitch for such a long time. It took me a while to figure out how I want to manage things. As usual, you know me already like that. So let's bring up the mudstone blocks. Oh, those we got. Because I wanted to have that barracks finally finished. Somebody asked how to make your dwarves wear boots, and I want to leave that question not unanswered. So, let's bring up the barracks here. I'm really happy of it, how it's going on so far. We can start already. We can bring in the remaining floor tiles later. Good. So let's bring on up a militia commander. We already got that. Brilliant. So let's check back if we have made all the stuff that I meant to make. So here our DF hack auto thingy is bringing up lots of clothing productions. I'm going to eliminate these for a moment because I'm mistrustful as ever. It's basically trying to bring up work orders whenever somebody needs clothing, but I have the impression as if it makes way too many of these work orders, but I'm not sure. So anyways, we have had the entire copper production seems to be through. So let's get the first militia squad going. So we will pick up any peasant that we can pick up, because peasants are people that are not specifically talented in any job so far. And for me, they make the perfect people to be put into the military in the first place. So let's see. Ah, perfect. There's 2 more peasants there. All right. So these guys now will get their schedule to constant training. We're going to define that they're allowed to train here. I don't allow them to sleep anywhere else or put their stuff anywhere else. These settings haven't brought me any benefits so far. And now we can see that they should at least grab their gear now and start training. Yeah, you see it here. And they're going to go for their thing now. So let's revisit them in a minute when they've grabbed their gear. Always takes them a moment. In the meantime, we can check if the mayor's suite is now to her liking. The dining room leaves wishes open. That's kind of a pity because we're definitely not going to get any better points here because everything here is already staffed out, engraved and all. So, well, I don't think I got any statues and other bling that I could fit in there. So we're going to order a statue. Let's see. Something neat. Hey, look at that. We got silver ore bilon. We also have a nice supply of fuel for the moment. We're almost out of wood, which is somewhat concerning me, but, you know, let's just give our mayor a proper thing here. So, furniture, let's put up a bilon statue. And we're going to leave it to the artist. What's it going to be? I love that. Okay, so let's get back to our underground adventures because we happen to need more tetrahedrite. So, I mean, down here we also have ample supply of wood. This is my long-term idea of where we're going to get ourselves our resources from. But, you know, it is also quite dangerous. Forgotten beasts roam these places and whatnot. And we need proper military preparations before we can even think about that. So here we have the typical situation that has been talked about. Why do they not wear boots? We have made boots. They're not wearing them. Typical situation. So to fix that, you get in there and let me explain you why it happens. So the thing is, your dwarves are not able to put their high boots over their socks and shoes. That's the whole reason. That's why they're not wearing their boots. You can override that by selecting every single one of them and tell them to replace their uniform. Instead of wearing their uniform over their clothing, they're supposed to replace it. And then, you see, you have to do that sadly for every single dwarf in your company. But you might notice they're turning green now. And that's the way that... It's because that, you see, they're dropping their shoes and all. Yeah, it's that easy, exactly. No problem. It's such a silly thing, but I'm pretty sure that all these things will be something we'll be laughing about in a year from here. Because I bet that the development will go much into the direction of these quality of life things, that we don't have to do this such weird things to get things going. I'm pretty sure that this will be chastised as one of the first things. Okay, so we got 70 people working here, and we... Do I have a... Why are you guys not hauling stuff? Do we not have a stockpile zone for stuff like that? Well, there's a stockpile zone. You guys are just lazy. Come on, get rid of the stink, you. Jeez. That was the last catsplosion, you know. So we're going to put those remaining kittens to the gelder and slaughter those. I just don't want to have too many cats in here. Okay, that is pretty okay so far. Let's see if the statue has been made. Wonderful. So, do I already have a work order assigned to that? I don't have any auto decorators yet. Okay. So let's assign this one to encrust furniture with gems, and you're going to do that forever. Ah, yeah, okay, it is already properly configured. We're just... Oh, I probably have set it up already, but I didn't set it up as a permanently restarted thing. That could be very much the case. It's raining bitter sludge. Yeah, such is life here. You do you, Civ. I have a look that in the background today, for once, my wife is cooking for me. I don't want to sound mopey here. I love cooking. Usually I do the cooking, but she was so kind to do this for us today, and I'm deeply appreciating. But in our family, I'm regularly the cook. Okay, so we got the irrigation here ready, and we're going to forbid that door and do a little bit of a flush. I love this. I love dwarven irrigation techniques. And more people. They have heard that this is a nice place to stay at. Fools. Anyways, so we got to think about where I will put up a intersection, because I can't put up a road through here to make a nice donut shape, so I want to drill a road through here. So not here, because that's not smart. I think somewhere around that area here. So we're going to dismantle a couple of bedrooms here, so we can make that area here properly get done here. So we're going to dismantle these 3 here, because I think that's sadly necessary. So... And then I want to carve a nice big way here, you know. Some passage like that. And that's going to destroy all the remaining rooms around it, you know. Therefore, you gotta do something like that, but it's going to make it all so much more efficient. So the Guild of Earth wants a guild hall. The Metalsmith Guild, hell yeah, you guys. So speaking about which, did I actually manage the guild thing here? Nah. Not at all. Alrighty, so we're going to do a double guild hall feature here, because I think that's actually going to be a bright idea. And, well, it does seem as if we need more statues, you know? It does seem as if we need more statues. So, Why is this job not springing into action? Because I'm just impatient. Alright. Good. So, now we got to do so many things at once again. But I really, really think that this apartment block is so worth it. There's so much living room for us. Come on. Probably, I'm also thinking about a... oh yeah, let's do this like that. I'm also thinking about a dining hall here in the area. Because we have such a huge concentration of people living here that I personally think it might be a smart idea to bring up some accommodations here as well, so people don't have to travel that far every time. Okay. So, the worst part is that you are not able to tell the game that it should just use the same material you were assigning the last time. This is, for me, such a necessary little feature, because it would make this entire setup of this section here so much less annoying. But, well, such is life. Building apartments is work, I guess. Even for the overseer. But I do like this part here. I think I want to make a nice looking plaza here with statues and maybe a cage with some exotic animals or something like that. Let's see. But I do foresee that this apartment area here will get this city very, very long. Or very, very farther. Thank you for the sub. So much appreciated. Alrighty.
You're welcome.
So, thanks for the follow, Old Tunin. Appreciate it. Happy to have you here. Hope you're enjoying your stay. So this fortress is coming along quite nicely. We do need more military gear. I want to have this squad on full capacity. I don't like to have only 6 people here on that squad. But we got to do what we got to do. So we got that statue here decorated with the worst. We got no good gemstones here. This place is poor, you know? This is a poverty-stricken fortress. Ah, well. Never mind me muttering. So we could go for sterling silver here. We got more Billon. So, well, whatever. We need something to decorate these rooms with, because they're obviously not valuable enough. Sure, one could just engrave the entirety of these walls, but I don't want to go everywhere I don't want to be everywhere I go engraving walls, you know? That's just boring, and it doesn't look that good. So we're going to make this one with chalk blocks, because we are actually quite low on blocks by now. And, yeah. We're building too much here, aren't we? So we're going to make... wait a sec. How much Billon do I actually still have? 9 bars. Well, let's make 3 Billon statues, and as a bonus, the artists may choose the motive by themselves. That's a big bonus. I usually don't leave them so much freedom. And let's see how things come together here. So, dabbling swords dwarf. Oh boy. Competent spear dwarf. Competent axe dwarf. Ah well. Adequate fighter. So they're mostly on their starting values still. Okay. So, let's head back here. Okay. Our glassmaker is taken by a Fey mood. I think I totally need to put up a glass furnace. I have no sand. Oh boy. That guy's a goner. Unless he's taking a different workspace, but that's highly unlikely. Usually they go for something which is close to their trade. And I bet that he's going to take that glassmaker's workshop now. mean, yeah, like I said. So let's double and triple check if we don't have any lucky moment where we can, or any lucky area where there seems to be a patch of sand. Because I don't like to let my folks die just like that. So there's peat. Sand here. There is sand here in the aquiferous layer once. And there's sand down here. Alright, we're saved. Okay. 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 So, raw green glass, tanned hides. Well, raw green glass we can provide, but it's going to be a bit more of a pain in the rear here. So, we got to bring up a stockpile zone for sand. So, in case you didn't know it, you find the sandbags and furniture. It works like that. First you enable everything, then you disable everything, and then you look here for sandbags. And then now the stockpile zone is configured to accept all the sandbags. It works like that. Once you know it, it's super easy. Until you know it, it's a mind-numbing thing. So we are going to go here for some emergency thing here. So we're going to slap up the glass furnace here right in the middle, because your folks can walk over there. These workshops, they don't block movement. Well, I'll tune in. There are... I did make an entire tutorial series for beginners on YouTube. Maybe you want to check that out. There are so freaking many things. So you could either watch an entire tutorial series or go and check out the Wikipedia and check out the parts that you want to build. That's the way I learned the game. And you could also check out tutorials about specific topics. Video tutorials. It's up to you how you want to do your learning procedure. And I haven't learned everything I wanted to learn yet. I feel like I got 80% of the stuff down that I want to have down, but not enough. So let's continue here. As you saw there, the sand collecting thing got cancelled. No wonder we don't have any sand collecting zone designated. They can't collect sand without a sand collecting zone. Here we go. So these will help. Oh boy, I'm so afraid that these might overgrow with lichen one day. But well, don't worry about that now. So let's here. It should work now. Okay, if it doesn't work, then we don't have enough bags. So I really do hope we got some fabric to work with. Yeah, well, enough to make one bag for sure. No? Damn. So that is troublesome. Oh wait a sec, we can make a silk bag. I'm pretty sure about this. Yeah. We haven't had a cloth bag, but we have a silk bag. So, judging from what I see, I totally want to have more pigtail farms, because, you know, it's one thing that I realized about this game. Your dwarves need a stupid amount of clothing and stuff. So, alright. Silk bag is made. And I hope that this is not going to get claimed by some other workshop directly. Ugh, I hate it when things come together like that. So let's hope that I can cram that job in before the bag gets grabbed by some other task. They're carrying the bag around now. That's why I'm not getting a proper snap in here. So, it seems as if we don't have any empty bags here. So... and here, they already used all the bags that we got. Can we, I don't think I have anything that I can do for this poor guy right now. except for hoping that we're going to get a bag production through before things go bad. Damn, I hate it when things go down like that. So, probably should disable the auto-tailor for a while, because he does eat up all the resources that I produce. So, disable tailor. So, Stanaris, hi there, Crisscross. I'm not done with Against the Storm, but I'm recently waiting for the updates to hit town. But I mean to get back to it. I'm not done with it yet, don't worry. Just had to spend like something like 250 hours or so into Dwarf Fortress to properly properly satisfy my nerd rage that had to gobble down this stuff. It was insane time with this game. I basically learned every day something new, and I didn't stop for a while. And by now, I think, yeah, I haven't learned everything about this game, because this will take many, 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 many years till I have seen pretty much everything. But that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is I was busy with this game so much that I kind of lost track of everything else. But I mean, that's the nature of a rabbit hole, isn't it? So, but yeah, Against the Storm, I ain't done with that. Don't worry. So, can we finally collect some sand? No, we can't. That's bothering me. So, oh yeah, I have an idea. So let's check. The hospital has more than enough cloth.
This is very personal.
Thank you, Stanaris. Appreciate it. That's so kind. Happy to have you. Alrighty, so now we have a nice amount of cloth, and I hope that with the disabling of the auto-tailor, we might be finally getting to a point where we're making those bags without them getting snatched by some other industry right away. That would be really cool, because I don't want to let this poor guy die, you know? That would be just not the thing that I want to have. Okay, so let's follow the pigtail bag. So you are, okay. It seems as if we have quite a backlog for bags, because the moment we are producing one, there's immediately somebody snatching it and moving away and doing something with it. So let's see. Blue-clad fella is hauling the bag. So let's follow her. And let's see. So processing plants to bag seems to be an insanely important task right now. Damn. Well, we'll see how this situation will play out in the long run. Ah, look at it. Finally. Now, it is unclaimed and it is available. We might have a chance to rescue our glassmaker. So, yeah, we can finally collect sand. Yeah, seeds are hogging the bags, but mostly it was the auto-tailor that was producing insane amounts of clothing, and therefore there was no cloth left for bags. I think that was the problem there. So let's make raw green glass in response to that. Perfect. Let's just hope that this will save this fella before it's too late. Good, we got the charcoal. We almost got no wood left whatsoever. Okay, we got the Bidon statues that I ordered. Let's see, is the mayor's apartment good enough now? At least a piece of good news. And here we need 2,000 dwarf books, so I think I might be needing to engrave that hall to actually get to that value, because otherwise they won't make it. Okay, so now back to that petition. They want a room for the Metalsmiths Guild. I happily oblige. So those statues I made will be a nice addition, but they won't be enough to get this fortress over, get this room over 2,000 value, sadly. The gemstones I got suck. I need to carve out larger areas somewhere. But there's only so much things you can do at once, you know. This is one thing I love about Dwarf Fortress. This game keeps you busy. There's always something else to get done. That's just so cool. Alrighty, so we got that. Now let's do the engraving. And here I'm trying to limit the engraving as something that's happening on the outer rim, so it looks at least like some intentional design. Okay, so let's get back to the surface and see if some ruddy old trees have regrown. The answer is sadly no. No wood available anywhere. That's tragic. So, yeah, well, what are we going to do? I'm definitely going to lock that hatch again. I keep forgetting that. Okay. Meanwhile, downstairs here, our dudes are getting somewhere with their skills. The enemies are usually showing up at population 50. There is a chance for snatchers to attack your fortress, and at population 80, you are attackable by sieges if you don't dabble around with the difficulty settings. And after that, basically, you're up for grabs for everybody else. I think 150 population is another trigger for forgotten beasts and the like, if I'm not mistaken. But you can change these settings to your own liking in the advanced settings when you generate a world as well. There's no biggie behind that. Okay, so I think we might be running out of beds soon, because we are running out of wood. So, but I don't regret a thing. I've made a small, albeit fully geared military squad. And, well, this will get us somewhere. So, let's make sure that we're going to get us staffed out here. So, I have plans with this area here. So, I want to have one military squad operating permanently here, but that's gonna take a while. So until then, let's see. We got here a stone roof over that room. That's perfect for my needs. Okay, we're going to carve out that room as well. Oh, not that corner though. Yeah, well, like I said, the populations... There's one thing. If you are close to a necromancer's tower, those guys don't care about your population. They just attack. Whenever. Okay, let's see if the thing here is working on out as intended. I mean, it's looking at least quite nicely, but we're still not getting the value in that I need. So, all these statues are almost worth nothing. Damn. Okay, so I really need to get myself some mining area going. This is so frustrating with this fortress that we are so limited when it comes down to bigger mining ops, you know? Let's see. We're almost yielding no gemstones and all, and this is turning to become a big problem of this fortress, but, well... I guess that's where the evilness of this of the Waters of Pain really shows. What about humans? Humans are just normal trade partners for your civilization in the first place, and you don't need to worry about them. No, they're mostly friendly. So this thing here is completely aquiferous, is it? Damn, it's entirely wet. Gosh. This is so annoying. It's all aquiferous. Damn. This place has one of the weirdest geology setups that I've ever seen since I've been playing this game. I mean, it's only 300 or so hours, but it's still a darned weird place, I tells you. Alrighty, so first mandate has ended, which was just a export, an export forbidding. Okay, well, I hope that someday soon we'll see new trees here growing, and I also have decided that it has to be a little bit differently here. Why the hell did they stop that one? Oh, well, whatever. We're going to get our military down here. I'm going to let my dudes train downstairs here. I might be regretting that when we're getting sieged, but at the same time, well. Probably gonna bring up a second squad soon after that. Did I go now for... I think I went for 2 different colors now in this room, didn't I? Or... And why is this work order not happening? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, they're if you attack them, they are going to war with you like everybody else, but they won't strike the first blow as far as I know. Although I have seen already civilizations that had enslaved dwarves. Like, I had a goblin civilization once that enslaved enough dwarves that they've actually sent dwarves as a attacking force to me. That was shocking to me. Okay, so we are going to set on up another barracks inside here. The idea of this one is that we're going to have a strike force available to help us out whenever something underground is going to make us problems. So, let's see, did they get unassigned from that barracks automatically here? No. That's fun. Alright, so obviously a squad can have 2 barracks at once assigned to them. Interesting. Anywho, we're going to assign them down here, and since I'm not a cruel ruler here at all, we're going to make us a little bit of a pleasant thing here happening. So we are going to have drink down here. We're going to have food down here. We're going to have a stockpile with mugs here, because that's really important. If they don't have a mug, they run all the way upstairs again to grab their mug. It's stupid. So make sure you have a stockpile that's looking like this. Everything is allowed at first. Then I turn off all the types, and then I only activate goblets. So they will just smack that stuff in there. And last but not least, we're going to make a small dining room here. And this way your military, they'll train down there, hopefully, one day again. Are you guys following? You guys are actually no longer... Now, let's put that schedules back up. So that's weird. So obviously it has been confusing them. For a moment they were assigned 2 barracks at once, and therefore they didn't notice that they were supposed to be here. Okay, whatever. Things are working out. So now we got a couple of people working down here. Oh. And now... Ist nicht mit mir geredet, okay. And now we can
I told the cat this was not a bed.
As if you would know anything about it. Alrighty, so last step here for our underground adventures is that we're going to bring up some tables down here. So if if our soldiers need a bite to eat, they're going to grab it down there. This way, you will have two things. Your soldiers won't grow unhappy that fast, and if they have to look out for their needs, they won't go all the way upstairs to the fortress again. I mean, in this fortress, it wouldn't be that much of a big walk. It's very close to the surface here, but I don't have that luxury on every fortress. So that one's really, really helpful for me. Oh, come on, damn it. One of my sword dwarfs has a baby now. That's bad. So let's check on out who that is. Oh, what's there? Oh no, the glassmaker has gone berserk. I haven't paid attention to him. No. Alrighty, so how's the situation going? The glassmaker is pretty much dying because he's getting killed by other people, alright. Anywho, we're sending our military after that to end this guy before anything worse happens. There we go. I don't want anybody to be involved too long into that, because excessive fighting is really, really bad for your civilians. Basically, the longer your civilians are involved in a combat, the more traumatized they get from it. And it's best if there is a military intervention to kill them off really fast. And this is, by the way, one of the worst case scenarios. A lot of people will now remember that event for a while, because we've just struck down one of our own in the middle of the workshop area. That never makes a good impression. But it's been my fault. I haven't paid attention to the situation there. Ah well, it happens. That's how this game's made. It's trying to get you at that point, and it will get you at some point. Anyways, poor glassmaker. Luckily, there's no reanimating force here on that biome in the blah. You know what I want to say. No necromancy. Our dude's dying doesn't make us stand worse there. The sand is actually spreading here, most interestingly enough.
To 9:30.
Alright, sounds great. So guys, in 30 minutes I have to leave you guys alone to have some fantastic dinner. I'm sorry about that. Stanaris, I failed to provide the materials he required for his artifact mood. I just derped. Admittedly, I just derped in that moment. I forgot that this was still necessary. My bad. Anyways, let's get that airlock done. I'm sad that I missed out on a artifact there. Truly am. No props, no probs. So, I bet that the sand here is coming together because they are constantly running across that field. Because if you walk over floor fungus often enough, it will get destroyed just as you see it there. This game has so many things working up beneath its surface. So here we're going to go for a what I'd like to call a classic airlock. So we're not going to have to worry too much about anything here right now. Here. So Udil Oslanuzar, you are out. Because I cannot have soldiers that have a child on their shoulders. This is pretty simple because the problem is not so much that the mother fights worse with a child, but children get traumatized by the combat that's happening around them. And if you have children in your military carried around like that, I've had it often that they end up depressive and haggard because they've seen so much blood and death during their childhood in the military that they'll never recover from that. and therefore I personally have a conduct: no babies on the battlefield. I mean, that ain't the weirdest conduct in the world. Anyways, so we have now almost access to what we need to get our fuel crisis under control. Because, you know, we don't see too many trees on the surface because there's not too much surface to work with. So we're going to conquer the depths here for us. Oh, I love this place. This is such a fun fortress, I'm not gonna lie. It's one of my favorites. But I say that after a while about pretty much every one of my fortresses, so... It's amazing how cool these the world generator here is in the game. So equip works out perfectly decent. And now we're going to put up another bridge here. And now the airlock is almost complete. The only thing we're missing are some levers. And so we're going to put the levers down. Probably not here. Yeah, I totally need more gathering spots here. Oh well. One thing at a time, I like to say, but in this scenario... Oh boy, we've already hit the border of the map. Damn. No. Alrighty, so... This is going to be the tavern at the end of the world, friends. Not over-exaggerating, I'm just stating it as it is. At least at the end of our world. Okay, so this tavern will be the place to be at. And this is going to be where we place down our levers. I personally like to place down levers at places where there's a lot of people hanging out and socializing, because this makes it higher likely that somebody will get the command done ASAP. And speaking about ASAP, we need to get downstairs to monitor the caverns again. Hey! Hi there, man. Happy to see you, Pikachu. So, we got some crappy gemstone here that we can use. And let's see if our guild hall projects, or how they went. So, yeah, that didn't go as intended. This one had, luckily, enough artsy skill here happening. Good. So these statues aren't worth too much, but we're going to put some in there. It's the best I can bring here up. I mean, it's Bilon statues, it's probably not that bad. I hope that this will be enough to satisfy the needs of those folks. Good. So let's get back to this. Alright, so it ain't that much of importance to put down the tavern here already. But it's important that we have a spot where the levers will be at. And you see, there's a lot of people always around here, and that's exactly what I wanted to have for that. So, let's check the unhappiness for a moment. So we have one pissed stoneworker. So let's see. I'd be not too surprised if this guy would be a relative to the deceased, but we'll see about that. Whoopsie. Alright, finally the levers have been done. So, airlock 1 inner. And, oh, damn. To configure that in a sec. It's not innered. Inner. And, airlock 1 outer. There we go. So now we can seal off the one side of this entire business if we need to. Alrighty. And to make this whole thing really worthwhile, we're going to make 2 more levers that have the same exact connections there. Just as a failsafe, you know? Mechanisms don't cost you much, and it's perfectly easy to have the same thing several times, you know? There we go. So now we have the safety level that I wanted to have. It's just important for me to make sure that we can actually provide what we need to keep our folks safe. I mean, there is a lot of wealth here on these plains. We can acquire a lot of metal here, and these plants here, we can forage all that. I mean, check this out, we can... Do you see that? There's so much to gather here, it's amazing. So... But I had to have a military squad in the background first. So if ever anybody of my folks gets attacked, we can send in the fighters, and this is giving me a really good feeling. So we're also going to bring up a lot of cage traps inside the airlock. This is especially fun when you have only one side of the airlock open, so if the bridge here is closed, sometimes monsters will just stroll in here and get randomly caged. This is pretty cool because this way you can bolster up your stockpiles of monsters quite easily. You can slaughter them, you can do whatever you want with them. Good-o. So we are starting to get acquainted down here, huh? So let's make sure we're going to have a easy way there. The Cavern of Eden, yeah. It's actually the first time that I really have to rely on the caverns that much. Because I have no coal, I have not enough trees on the map, and yeah, the underground trees are the best bet to go. So, here we found a bit of diamond. Juicy. These are quite dangerous, but also quite tempting, aren't they? So we got wood, boys. We got wood. Seriously, wood. There we go. So what are you folks up to? What the hell are you stockpiling? Why are you taking these risks? Yeah, whatever. I'll probably never know. But I mean, the good part about that is, yeah, it's stupid to haul these things, but your dwarfs will always, your civilians will always try to run away from any threat, so they don't go like, oh, a cave ogre, let's punch it. No, they'll be like running away from that cave ogre if possible, and then I usually should have enough time to send the military in. At least, that's the plan on paper. Here they're looting stuff there that has died miles out there, and I bet that this all is stuff that is now being claimed while, yeah, I can already imagine how that happened. I have had the settings in my standing orders here. I had it like this was active for a pretty long time, and therefore there's, I guess, a lot of unforbidden dit down here that are... It'll take a moment until they got all that. But there's a steel shield lying around there, you know. It's not like I want to say no to these things. Bronze, bismuth bronze. There's a lot of goodness hanging around there. There's another iron shield. Silver spear. Yeah, well, silver spear ain't the stuff that I really want to have. Anyways, I hope I have web gathering deactivated. No. No web gathering allowed. Great. Okay. Ah, well, living in the caverns, that sounds pretty amazing too, yeah. But I'd say we're making really good progress here. This there's a lot of good gear that we found there just a moment ago. I mean, they will be done flocking around and gathering junk in a moment, don't worry. I already know that. They're basically also exploring the caverns for me. That ain't the worst thing. What's bothering me a little bit is that the tree cutting did take so long. Which is, I wanted to say the tree cutting that hasn't happened, but actually I was wrong. Oh, perfect. We can finally cut those trees. My friends, we got wood again. That means fuel. That's the most important part. We can finally fuel up our industry properly. So, that means I am safely able to... Oh, I need another burial zone. I just realized that I have a tomb, but I haven't plastered it down yet. So let's fix that while I'm here. So this way, by the way, when you assign one-on-one tomb grids, like I do here, you can bury a lot of people inside one small tomb. Yeah, the glassmaker hasn't been buried yet. That's a shame. So what are you folks hauling back home the old time? I mean, okay, they are excused. They're hauling back a lot of wood. Oh my god. I guess this stuff is named Tower Cap for a reason. Yeah. Look at those logs. That's a lot of logs. Nice. Oh yeah, this is so good for us. So we're going to make us here like another assignment of 50 charcoal. And while we're at it, we're going to smelt some sweet tetrahedrite. Perfect. So at the same occasion, we are going to carve out a few more of these bits and bobs here. This stuff ain't really rare here or anything. Oh yeah, man. You name it, Sif. You name it. Those caverns where there's just water everywhere. Boy, they have trolled me so hard. I've made an entire series with a fortress that had that. Gulf Cobalt it was. They had exactly that issue. Only deep canyons filled with water at the bottom. It's such a big disappointment. Hard to describe. This here, on the other hand, is really good. We just have to have our military keen and ready to strike, because there is going to be a pretty high tendency of baddies showing up here, but, you know, there's always something, I guess. Speaking about which, let's make those work orders. So, or wait a sec, we're going to make it entirely differently. We're just going to assign more people to the squad, and we're going to craft accordingly. That's what we're going to do. Because I've plundered quite a substantial amount of things here, so I feel like probably don't need to make as much stuff as I thought I'd need. So here we go. And, alright. Oh man, for a moment I was afraid that the game would have died on me. Oh. But we just had an autosave, so it wouldn't have been that much of a big deal. For some reason the game tapped down. Nobody knows why. Anyways, so it looks like we have enough breastplates and the like. Shields for sure. So we are going to make the standard settings. The elves are here again. You know, I have actually taken care of all the trees here, so there's nothing to worry about. Anyways, let's make sure that we got copper helmets. I don't know if we have copper mail shirts and breastplates. Probably I'm overproducing right now. I don't care. So, copper gauntlet, copper greaves, and copper high boots. There we go. So these will be now all tuned down to 4, of course. There we go. So that's a much smaller assignment, but it should make this squad be fully equipped when we're done with it. And that's the most important thing for starters right now. So let's check out the guild hall here. It ain't enough yet still. Gosh damn it. These needy little pluckers. Anyways, so we are going to make a statue out of what? What do I have here? How about silver, huh? I got plenty of silver. I also got a lot of Billon. Well. So let's make one more statue out of silver. And hopefully that's going to finally give them what they need. So, do I want to trade with the elves? I don't think so. I don't know why we should do that. We got all we need. So here we carved us a entire little passage here through the rock. Okay. That's fine. So I won't touch that. It's damp rock, and chances are that there's some sort of demon or celestial being in there that's ready to whoop our ass. Not interested. So, speaking about not interested... Whoa! Rat! Alright. We got to get rid of that. I just realized that the cage traps aren't loaded. That's what what I wanted to say. But a giant rat can be quite a substantial trouble for your folks. Good thing that I caught that before it went into the base unchecked. Where's my wood? Here. So we're going to make a new set of cages here. And we're going to make 20 of these. So let's get back to that rat. Overcome by terror. Okay. It's stupidly running around here, and luckily we struck it down. So, let's check out how the fight went. So, that was a one-sided fight. Only attacks from my party. Wonderful. Okay. So, that's why I'm crafting more cage traps here. And we got... Oh, that ain't good. Alright, so, here's troglodytes hanging around, and I figured that this is enough for me to pull the to flick the switch here for a moment. Because I'm really not interested in, oh, wait a second. Alright, so obviously they're, now we can't do this. This would have been really bad for the person in question. Alrighty, so I hope that nobody is outside there anymore. The wrestler is fighting. Nah. So let's clear out that and check out that the rest of these combat locks are not linked to our folks. I also realized that I obviously don't have a stockpile zone for blocks yet. Now that is something that has to change. So all the stone blocks may be stored here. Alright, the dude is already working. That means we got all the necessary materials together. Brilliant. That's what I like to see. Okay, so I'm gonna wait until my order of cages has been worked through a bit, so we can staff out those cage traps. I like personally cage traps assigned like that because of a simple reason. It does take a lot of enemies to breach through that. Basically, that stray rat that you just noticed will be not breaking through as long as I have my cage traps. Although, that thing ran past this one here, so this one ain't loaded either. So what do we have here? A bracelet. Okay. Wonderful. Useless items. Well, it ain't completely useless. You can always put them on display somewhere. It's worth 4,000 bucks. So, nah, wouldn't call it useless. All right. And more people arriving. A statue of lizards. Yeah, why not? You do you. That's what's happening when I give them a free reign over what they're doing for a moment. They come up with a statue of lizards. Yeah, well. Aw, man. I do like the new apartment district. So, a farmer guild has been established, so that means they're going to pester me with new requests now. Alrighty. But all in all, things went really good for us, especially since we now got a huge stockpile of wood to work with, and that means charcoaling will be a breeze. So, let's put up more workshops here for the wood industry. Especially a second charcoaler might come in really, really handy, don't you agree? And, probably I want to increase here the total amount of stuff here a bit of well. But just realized that I meant to grow more pigtails. Just because. You know? Always comes in handy. Alright, the Guildhall agreement has been finally satisfied. This was one hell of a job. Okay, so these folks, well, officially their gear has been made, so let's double check there. Yeah, sometimes it is just like that. They're not checking for gear until you change something about that. And the Farmer Guild wants their stuff. Stonecrafter slips into depression. No. Oh, man. Well, at least it ain't no kid. So that does mean it's not going to be somebody who's not going to be brought down by justice. So we're going to bring up the cage zone downstairs. So I'm going to dissolve that stockpile here. And let's see. Do I still have a rope left? Yes, I do. Perfect. Okay, so things are coming together quite nicely. I think we can reopen the caverns one more time. And luckily, our squad is now finally fully equipped and geared out. I like that. So with those cage traps locked and loaded, we're going to be able to stop whatever intruders are coming into our premises much easier. And with the construction of the airlock as it is, if I ever run out of cages, I can also close the airlock on this side, so there's not going to be so much caging happening. I really like that kind of setup. It's flexible, and you can work with it as you need to. Okay, so more Guildhall action, eh? So turns out that this floor seems to be the floor of the guild halls. Yeah, well, I can't live with that. So let's smelt some more Billon, because, you know, that's obviously the best we can make. And let's rip down that blast furnace. So we're going to make, again, Billon statues. Let's make 2 of these. I'll leave it up to the artist what they're going to make. In my recent runs, I was often very strictly defining what the artists are making, and it's a fun change of pace to just let the dwarves decide what they want to draw. Oh wait a sec, we're going to make that a little bit different. So to save me some pain, we're going to draw just a straight line. Oh, gemstones. I need to pilfer these. I mean, they might be low value, but I don't care. So now we got that, and the last step to take is to cancel these jobs. Boom, done. That's an easier way of getting it done. There's less clicks, and therefore it's worth it. Alright, small gems, small income, but, you know, it's better than no gems. But wait a sec, this is one of those corners where your dwarves can do silly things. If there's ever a piece of wall in a corner, always build the piece in the corner first. Otherwise, you'll be seeing yourself ripping down that wall when they finish that piece first and they can't reach the corner anymore. Dwarves ain't necessarily the smartest. It's just something I have to admit to myself. Okay, so trying to keep ahead of the flood of new migrants here. Or stay ahead, I should rather say. And I'm super happy to have so many people around here, so feel free to follow the channel. I'll be around here as often as I can, because, you know, family and all means that I can't stream as often as I want to, but I will stream as much as I can. So, happy that you are around here. With pleasure. Good-o. So, let's just start with a bit of goodness here that this place here finally deserves. Oh boy. Nah, that was not what I wanted. I meant to do something else. So, we got ourselves some mudstone blocks, and I figured that, you know, it's about time to make this place a bit more beautiful. Probably would be a nice thing to do something here in the center of this plaza with different flooring or something like that. We'll see about that. Here we go. That's nice. So things are looking a little bit more civilized down here. Good. So why the hell are you guys... why is there so much stuff lying around? And we have another swords dwarf with a baby. So Udil Oslanuzar. Hey, wait a sec. I thought... I could swear that I had this guy on, or this woman already on the squad and fired her because of the baby. Name sounds so darn familiar. I bet it was the same person. Nice try. She really wants into the military, I guess. Alrighty, so we can now... There's a Draltha here. We could tame the Draltha. Dralthas are pretty cool. But, you know... We could also just rope it here to that thing and slaughter it. So, you bind them up, and then you take your military dwarfs, and then you send them wacky. It's also a pretty nice training for your soldiers, you know? They get better by that. And as you saw there, a Draltha is a pretty majestic enemy. And the best part about it is now that it has been killed, I hope that somebody will come up as fast as possible and butcher that thing. It's good for our food stockpiles as well. So, big benefit in many, many ways. So, yeah, our stonecrafter is slipping into depression more often. Uncool. Uncool. Well, let's carve out more of that hole here. Seems to me as if we're not getting the job done in time. A creeping eye is fighting. Somebody is fighting. I don't like that. A blind cave ogre. I find that... Is it only me finding that so amusing that creeping eyes are fighting a blind cave ogre? So... We're going to put up a butcher's workshop right next to this place. I've made the experience that providing very close service goes a long way in terms of providing quickly done work, you know? If there's the butcher right next to the corpse, they usually run to that much faster. The thing is, a Dralva corpse is darn heavy, you know? I like the idea of that. So you think the ogre and the walking eyes were looking together. So I think that was the point where I sadly have to say goodbye to you folks for today. It's been my pleasure. So dinner's ready. I hope you are going to check back on me the next time I'm streaming. Probably later tonight, probably tomorrow. Can't promise as of yet. But it's been my pleasure, everybody. I hope you're having a good time. And like I said, feel free to follow and see you all next time. Bye-bye.